Well, the following sentence I normally only say for my people on OnlyFans, but today I've got a really big poll for you. Hi, it's me again, and the Daily Telegraph has run a poll about the TV licence fees. Now, I got your hopes up there with the opening, didn't I? Normally these polls are run in the Express. The Express seem to have one every week about the TV licence fee and should it be scrapped, and they get between 3,000 and 4,000 respondents usually for a Daily Express poll, but the Telegraph, a bit bigger, 14,000 responses to a poll about the TV licence fee. So I think it's interesting to read this because the Telegraph targets a somewhat different demographic of people, doesn't it, really, to the Daily Express. It's sort of more Middle England, more what you would expect to support the BBC. So the response to this poll is interesting. Have a look. A new poll from the Telegraph has found that 91% of over 14,000 readers believe the BBC licence fee should be scrapped. That's a big number. It's a big number. I wouldn't have expected a number that big to come from a poll on the Telegraph. Simple question, should the licence fee be scrapped? Yes or no? 91% of 14,000 people said yes. That's a big number. It just goes to show public opinion really lately has shifted. There's been so much going on at the BBC, so much drama over the independence of the BBC, over bias in the news reporting. Lineker obviously hasn't helped. And then the news of a rise in the licence fee coming out recently as well, which isn't new news. I mean, we all knew it was going to happen. The freeze was only for 2 years anyway. It's piling up against the BBC. And is it piling up against the BBC because we want it to pile up against the BBC so we can put pressure to get the TV licence fee scrapped? Or is it piling up against the BBC on purpose through the media so that they can effect their own change to the licence fee? Because the BBC, well, they obviously don't want a licence fee scrapped, right? Get some 3.7 billion quid a year. But ITV get about 1.4 billion from being commercial. So the BBC don't want to lose the licence fee, do they? But what they really want is for it to become a tax, something that goes on your payslip, for instance, which means it wouldn't be paid by household, it'd be paid by everybody. They'd like that. Or they'd like it being a levy on your broadband bill or some kind of media levy on there. That's something they would like as well. And the problem is, I mean, there's always change in these sorts of things when public opinion shifts a lot. When licence fees have been scrapped in different countries around the world, because we aren't the only country that has one or have had one, it's because public opinion shifts and people stop paying it en masse. That's when change happens. And it could go either way, the change. It can be good for us, it'd be scrapped off completely, which is how I'd like to see it, or it can become a tax. I mean, the French think they won, where the TV licence fee got scrapped last year in France. It didn't. They just increased VAT to cover the difference. So you're still paying it, you're just paying it more stealthily. That's what we don't want to see happen over here. So this article's in the Daily Sceptic, never been on here before, and the writer of this article's added a bit on top of the Daily Telegraph stuff. Let's have a look. I also suspect these views go far beyond Telegraph readers. There are other polls cited in the article, and anecdotally I find BBC employees I speak to now take it as a given that the licence fee must go. And this was already the case before Gary Lineker gave us his latest political insights. Even the BBC spokesperson who talked to the Telegraph seemed to at least partially agree. That's interesting, isn't it? I mean, I don't have any contacts at the BBC, sadly. I did have a friendly person at the BBC who sent me some insider documents. Some I've managed to show on the channel, some I obviously couldn't, but were interesting nonetheless. But I'd like some more BBC insiders, but I don't work in the media, so I'm not really in that zone where I meet those kind of people and social environments, right? But this person obviously does. And if they say BBC employees they speak to now take it as a given the licence fee must go, well, that's big. That is big. What did this BBC spokesperson say? So a BBC spokesperson said, long-standing independent research shows the licence fee remains the most popular way of funding the BBC. Okay. It is the agreed method of funding until at least 2027 and ensures the BBC is an independent, universal broadcaster which invests in UK creativity and talent. Beyond that, we are open-minded about the future, and it is right there is a debate on whether the licence fee needs to evolve. I don't think they partially agreed with the poll. That BBC spokesman, they said evolve. They didn't say change. They said evolve. That's very different. It's very different. Evolve means become a tax, become a media levy, become something you must pay, something you can't opt out of, which is the system we currently have. So I just thought that was interesting that 91%, that's a big number with a lot of respondents. If I was to run a poll on this channel or my other channel, I wouldn't get anywhere near 14,000 responses. And to be fair, the reason I haven't run polls on my channels about it is because it'd be skewed numbers, wouldn't it? You're watching this because you don't like the BBC, you don't like paying the TV licence fee, so we're biased. But yeah, big number. What do you think about this then? Do you think the number's about right? Do you think it could have been higher? I've seen it higher. In Express polls, I've seen that number higher than that. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Because that way, hopefully I'll see you in another video again soon when I... Ta-da!